Hello, everyone.
Hi, soul family.
All I see is hearts and roses.
Family. Oh, I can hear myself.
Hearts and roses.
Family. Oh, I can hear.
There we go.
Okay, everybody. So we're going to start by harmonizing our field. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, soul family. It's so lovely to connect with you again. So today I'm going to play my EldoRa crystal bowl. This is going to channel extraterrestrial light frequencies.
And this connects with your crown chakra.
Crown and sacral, yes. So you may set an intention for this quick healing. Close your eyes, open up your hearts, and may the highest light and the highest love permeate every atom of your being. And so it is.
And so it is.
We invite the highest beings of love to surround us, to channel through us, to shower angelic, higher dimensional frequencies of love, and bless us with your presence. And so it is.
And so it is. That was extremely powerful. I felt like an Atlantean priestess vibe coming from you.
When I do that, I zone out, just so you know. So I just zone out. And so when you say that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm coming back to this dimension now.
It seems like an ancient song that's so familiar. It's like as if my mother is humming a tune of lullaby and just comforting my soul.
Oh.
And I feel safe and held in that sound.
Oh.
It's very precious.
Well, thank you, baby. I feel that the chat is disconnected. Are you guys able to chat? I feel like, hello, I hope to catch as much. I feel like there's something wrong with the chat. So we'll try, and if not, we'll just leave it as is, I guess. Let's see.
Yeah, here I see the chat.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. So should we just move it out here? Fine,
Yeah.
let's do that. All right, you can all see it. Hello, everybody. When we do that, actually, we feel that connection. So when you guys are in the chat, we instantly, the
Our
heart...
chat was frozen and we're like, where's the connection?
Because you have to remember, you guys are looking at us, but we're looking at our laptop screen. All right.
And those hearts keep us going, so keep them coming.
So my friends, we have received such a beautiful update. It's just very exciting. The times that we are in are just such exciting times. And I know that this word gets thrown around a lot, like we're in exciting times, we're creating history. So today we want to go into some of the history of, just a recap, a very high level recap of how we landed up in the Atlantis experiment, how we malfunctioned, how we made the wrong choices, and how Atlantis had a mega explosion because of our choices, the choices of the abuse of power that we made. And then how that one explosion and that one experiment that simply really started with those of us in Atlantis, the people in Atlantis, the powerful creator gods that came down from all the levels, all the way from prime creator source that came down into different fractals of consciousness. How all of us, many of us, many of these creator gods in Atlantis, how they asked this simple question: what would it be like to separate ourselves from God? What would it be like? This started 50,000 years ago. I'm going back in history right now, but so when we separated ourselves from God consciousness, the main question that we, as free spirited, free will souls, wanted to answer to ourselves is, all right, what happens if we cut ourselves off from God? And that's what happened 50,000 years ago to about 13,000 years ago in Atlantis, when we created a surrogate Merkaba, a synthetic surrogate Merkaba. And we said, all right, we are going to try and cut ourselves off from God consciousness, but we're going to create such a powerful grid based on how powerfully our city has been built and all these crystal technologies that we've been taught and all of that. And we'll power up this Merkaba and cut ourselves off from God to show ourselves that we can do it without God. So that's when the experiments started.
And they created the Merkaba large enough to envelop the entire planet Earth. So at that time, humanity thought this was a great idea. But what they did not realize is that we had gone from a golden age 50,000 years ago, where Atlantis was thriving, and there was technology, there was spirituality, there were beings from all over the galaxy coming back and forth to Earth, and we had a glorious moment in history. And we thought we had made it, and we thought we had achieved everything there is to achieve, and we were marveling at our own creation. And then what happened is there was a seed or an idea presented to humanity by Archangel Lucifer. That's a long biblical story. But what happened was the seed of consciousness, the seed was planted in our consciousness. What would happen, like EldoRa mentioned, humanity decided to experiment. What would happen if we cut ourselves off from God consciousness? And to do that, they created a synthetic Merkaba that would create a free source of energy virtually, like just harnessing the power from the universe. So they wanted to do that for the whole planet, and by that gain complete control over the solar system, because they would be the only force that the entire solar system would feed on at that point. They were trying to create Earth into a mini sun while sustaining life. So they got themselves in way over their capacity to learn, because they were still in 3D, 4D conscious, not 3D, but 4D consciousness, because they were still in ego. You see, 4D consciousness is based on the ego, it's based on logic, but for 5D consciousness, the primary basis of it is love. So once humanity forgot that they need love to activate the Merkaba. So it just went into a phase where the whole experiment failed miserably. And
also, I want to say that these Merkabas actually have, any Atlantean technology, any higher technology comes with a fail safe, meaning it cannot possibly be used
misused.
It cannot be misused.
Yeah.
So when these guys fired up the Merkaba, it created a mega explosion, and the entire what is it, continent?
Space-time continuum. There was a tear in the space-time continuum.
Right, let's go into that actually.
Yeah.
So there was a tear in the space-time continuum that actually shocked, not just what happens on Earth, shocks the entire omniverse. So what happened when this planet, when Atlantis, when that explosion happened, is that it created a tear in the space-time continuum, and that tear reverberated through the omniverse. So what the Syrians did at that point is that they said, we need to make an emergency pit stop on planet Earth. I'm just paraphrasing just to give you guys the
Yeah,
story.
that's exactly how it happened.
So the Syrians said, we're going to make an emergency pit stop and take matters in our own hands and basically quarantine off the whole planet Earth, quarantine it off. Literally,
And our solar system as well.
yeah, think about it. Hold on. Think about it as if there was a massive bomb explosion in your neighborhood or in your city or in your town. What would the police forces do, or what would the authorities do? They would seal that area off. So that's what happened when this mega explosion happened. The Syrians came and said, all right, this mega explosion, there's only two options. One option is we either wrap up the Earth experiment and we let pretty much Earth be history, or we quarantine off the entire planet from the higher dimensions, so that what happens on Earth from this point on, this was 13,000 years ago when Atlantis sank. At that point, we said, the Syrians said, or we quarantine it off and we allow humanity to play out its cycles of duality of what would happen if we cut ourselves off from God, because that was the whole purpose of the experiment. So then what humanity did was so the Syrians said, we have two options. And enough light workers said, no, we hear the call, we will go to Earth and we will incarnate, we will go through millions of incarnations, maybe more, but we will play out the cycles until we again bring ourselves up, and then as a result bring humanity up to this level in our consciousness where we can then ascend all over again. So basically what we're doing right now is we're really correcting the mistakes of our past. So everything that we see in our environment right now is a reflection of the horrible rowdiness that we exhibited from the past, which is why you'll hear many people say, and we say this too, that there's no outside of us, all evil, all good, everything exists from within us. And our guides gave a very good analogy to explain this. They said, what was it? They said, think about, it'll come to me. What was the point?
I'm not sure.
Lost my train of thought. Yeah, so what would go wrong with us? So anyway, let me go. So back to the story and connect if you pitch in.
So basically, picking up on the stream where EldoRa left off, humanity was allowed to play out the duality game of consciousness, because the only other option was to wrap up the Earth project and destroy everything. And we did not want to do that because of so many millions of years of history we've accumulated. So now we've come to a point, there have been many prophets, light workers, civilizations that were sent back to Earth, like the Mayan civilization was one, the Egyptian civilization was one, and Tibet and China, there were many monasteries, descendants of the children of the law of one from the times of Atlantis. All of these priests and ascended masters stayed back on Earth and held the light for long enough until 1989, where we came to the harmonic convergence. And what was the harmonic convergence? Really, it was where the galactic project to create the 5D grid around Earth was completed. That's what the harmonic convergence actually means. But you can't just
Let's go back to that. Let's re-explain that.
Yeah.
So what was the harmonic convergence?
What was the harmonic convergence? It was the creation of the Christ consciousness grid, the 5D grid, in other words, that contains the map of ascension. So basically, every time an ascended master has ascended, we're constantly uploading data. So when a human ascends, they send that data up into a grid. So all the beings from higher dimensions were assisting humanity create that map from the outside. But to anchor this 5D grid, you need light workers who have activated their higher consciousness to anchor these codes into the grids of planet Earth. This is the project that we have been doing with our land healing project, where we distributed thousands and thousands of crystals from our solstice. And we were planting, encoding these crystals with 5D angelic frequencies from the galactics, from Prime Creator. and encoding these 5D node points in various ley lines and vortices on planet Earth to anchor that 5D grid into Mother Gaia. So this is how heaven meets Earth. This is as above, so below. So the galactics can only create that web. But now what's happened for the first time, in 1989, physical reality had not caught up to where consciousness was. Humanity had created the consciousness mass decision to ascend.
So just to re-explain, so in 1989, we had reached a point where imagine if like a pulse was sent from the heavenly realms to earth. Like, you put a thermometer in your mouth to see if you have a fever. So
Yeah.
imagine a giant celestial cosmic thermometer being put down on earth to get the pulse of earth. And that pulse indicated that, yes, humanity, after all these thousands and thousands of years, have finally, thanks to all the light workers, all of us, actually, every single one of us, guys, every single one of us, that's our service. Which is why a lot of you people say, what is our service? What is our service? What is our soul's mission? What is our service? You guys are in service already and you just don't know it. You guys are always asking, what is our service? Just you watching this video is your service. Just you showing up to raise your vibration is your service. Just you saying, I'm coming to Miami to Solstice to do grid work with you. Putting your, buying a ticket, buying a flight, booking a hotel and coming to Miami. You're not going to party with an event. You're showing up saying, I am here. I've heard the call. I am here for service. You coming to the 222 event, which we will talk about in a bit, that is your service. So a lot of people think, what is our mission? What is our plan? But it's not that complicated. What we are doing is by raising our frequency constantly. What are you doing by doing that? By raising your frequency constantly and constantly up leveling yourself, you are in turn leaving the codes of how you got yourself out from darkness to divinity. And those codes get distributed to anyone and everyone you come across with, because your aura around you is constantly sharing these codes with everybody that you come across, even people who are completely unconscious, which is why Siman and I, some of the things that the guides make us do is they make us go to really dense places like Playa del Carmen, which is not really our vibe. It's loud and obnoxious, but they'll say, just go have a beer and come back, and that's because when we walk there, we're giving all the people who are wearing masks and walking around, we're giving them templates, just like Jesus gave humanity several years ago. What did Jesus do? What did Buddha do? They came to earth, and the physical incarnation was needed to download their codes of the Christ consciousness codes, which they had already mastered, into the earth grid. Because once these codes are attached into earth's grid, what happens? Anybody can now access these codes.
Yeah, and that's what we're getting into. All the mass awakening that has happened since Earth ascended in 2012, all of the 2012 was basically the year Earth ascended. So what that really means is that you're not going to see 5D communities in 2012, but vibrationally, think of it as like us passing through a dimension in space-time. So we've passed through a dimension and we're in a completely new timeline. That was also accomplished by Sirian technology to pass Earth through a dimensional portal, so we can ascend very quickly from 4D to 5D. So the Sirians are in charge of this whole project. They're in the front seat. There's many, like more than 22 galactic organizations in charge. But in 2012, Earth passed through this dimensional portal into a new timeline of ascension. The only thing that's been playing on the Earth plane is the hologram or the illusion of 3D, so that humanity doesn't get a shock in their system. So if humanity were to be taken offline and made unconscious and suddenly come online into a 5D reality, we would not accept that reality because our mind is not, it's just like binary. We're not ready for that jump yet. So the galactics have to put us into this 4D hologram, kind of like it's like a theme park where we're just going through these crazy illusions.
That's why they call it a simulation.
Yeah, it's
it
literally
actually
like
is.
It's becoming more of a simulation than ever because the world seems crazy right now. But that's also because the galactics are literally putting a 3D movie around us to wake us up. Nothing is real. So when people fall into fear that oh my God, what's going to happen? It doesn't matter. You're eternal beings. That's what you have to anchor your beingness into, that I'm an eternal being. This body is just temporary and it doesn't matter. I'm going to come back and enjoy the show regardless.
And I want to add something in here. Your belief system right now is being upgraded.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. So your belief system is going from, I'm going to go to heaven, I'm going to go to hell if I displease God. Your belief system is going from, oh my God, I'm 60 years old and I'm so old. Your belief system is going from, I'm not really educated, I don't have a college degree, what am I going to do in New Earth? All of this is going to be replaced with, oh my God, I am an empath, I am a light worker, I'm here doing God's work, and I am awake, and I'm actually a superstar, and I'm acting like a poor little victim sitting at home. What else can you do to change? This whole simulation from 2012 to 20, what is it? This whole simulation from 2012 to 2020.
It pretty much goes until 2034.
Correct. But
if we have time, we'll give a high level overview.
We will go into it for sure. There's no problem with time because we don't have anything after, so we can go in detail. So this whole simulation is given so that everybody that's meant to step up in 2012, which is why Siman and I and many of you have had our awakening in 2012. That is when Earth ascended, and the first waivers of Earth teachers, Earth leaders were activated. That's when Siman and I were activated, and we were put on a 7-year training program, which many of you are on now because you guys are the second waivers. Many of you are the first waivers, many of you are the second waivers.
We roughly bag everything as the batch of 2012 onwards till 2019, and then the batch of 2020 to 26 is the second waivers, and the third waivers are like the final galactic star seeds, the indigo children. They're from 2027 to 34. So these are the 3 major phases we're going to discuss.
I think before we go any further, let's make sure we completed our thoughts on Earth being quarantined from the higher realms. Is there anything else you want to say on that?
Yeah, so Earth was quarantined to contain the damage that was created by the failed Merkaba experiment of Atlantis. But what happened as a result, I'm glad you brought that up again. What happened?
Because today I'm super grounded.
I love it.
When I'm grounded, I can keep you.
She's even keeping me grounded. I'm less grounded than her. So what happened?
It's okay. I got you.
Oh, that feels good.
Okay, go now.
These energies can be intense. We need to hold each other's feet sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the quarantine.
Yeah, so the quarantine created a tear in the fabric of space-time, and negative entities from lower dimensional planes flooded into our dimension by the billions. And that technically is not allowed. An entity is not just allowed to go from a lower dimension to a higher dimension. So technically speaking, a law of physics was broken that was not previously thought could have been broken. So the galactics were very confused by this, but the experiment that humanity had created that failed was also very bizarre. It had never been done before. So now billions and trillions of entities flood our solar system, and all the other planets are quarantined because Venus and some Saturn, Jupiter, they host higher consciousness civilizations which can remain invisible to lower beings. But Earth was like fully infiltrated because humanity had fallen into consciousness, into like ape consciousness beings from like ascended Atlantean priests and priestesses conscious beings. So basically, our reality became like so dualistic. We used to, in times of Atlantis, breathe from the top down. We used to breathe in prana energy through our prana tube, and our third eye would receive it through our crown. And through that, we use the trinity of sight. So we used to see reality with the Holy Trinity, okay? And
like this
T-shirt also represents the Holy Trinity. It's a Celtic symbol. Birds are like angelic.
People are wondering what's like sticking between your legs.
That's mine.
He uses that crystal in all the inappropriate spots. In the last thumbnail, he's holding it like it's like this. He's holding the crystal like this. And Merlin sends me a message saying it looks like Siman's holding a giant crystalline like middle finger.
Man, I have to become more aware of this crystal. It's becoming a part of my body now. I think I need one of those like superhero crystal implants in my heart. Anyway.
You guys have to, you remember where? So that's where you keep your Vogel.
Well.
All right.
Let's not go there.
So where
Okay,
were you?
so basically the Trinity, the Holy
Yes,
Trinity, we
like-
used to see with our spiritual eyes.
Yes.
Our pineal gland was the size of a ping pong ball. Now it's shrunk to the size of a pea. That's where humanity is. So if you think you're psychic, wait till your body is back to its normal form as Adam Cadmon template. We're like super, super psychic. We're like million times more psychic potentially than we are now.
So what happened in the experiment when we abused our own powers is that our pineal gland, so again, to just go back into what he was saying, in the times of Atlantis, we used to breathe in through our crown, and that light through our crown used to go out through our third eye. So instead of looking at eyes through dualistic lens, which is the left eye and the right eye, it's the dualistic lens.
Yeah.
We used to look at life through the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, because we were always
of
connected
unity consciousness
to our pineal gland, which was the size of a ping pong ball. But when we misused power, that ping pong ball shrunk to the size of a pea. That's how much we downgraded and devolved. Yes.
And somebody asked, how do we activate our pineal gland? Simply visualize as if every breath is a breath of light going into your pineal gland day in and day out. And don't believe in anyone who says this is dangerous. As long as you have shielded yourself and grounded yourself appropriately, then it's not dangerous. But know that you take your safety protocols. That's also important. So now, because we started seeing from 2 eyes instead of 3, we started seeing as everything as you and me, whereas previously in unity consciousness, we were all just one big family and we felt safe with each other. So for the last 13,000 years, we've been playing this game of duality where we're building fences and saying, my neighbor is not safe for me, my neighboring country is not safe for me, waging wars against each other. Because when we devolved, it all became about the ego, that to feel safe, I have to gain control over the other. And that brings me to a point that people who are saying, when will this duality game be over, have to pay attention within, and we'll go into more detail on this later. But people who are saying, when will all this struggle be over? You have to focus on the fact that when will the struggle be over within you? So if you are still in duality consciousness and sitting on the couch and waiting for the ascension train to pick you up, that's not happening. It's on us to do all the work, to do the inner work. Where are we mistreating people? Where are we like giving away our power? Where are we allowing our boundaries to be trampled? Where are we going in cycles in our life, going in a rut, not feeling happy, but not doing anything about it? Where are we not taking power and responsibility in our life? We have to become galactic citizens. We have to become conscious beings, as if, you know, those adults who have their shit together and you hate them. That's what you have to become. You have to have your shit together.
We have our shit together, but they love us.
Yeah, so aspire to be like us.
And you know what it is like? Again, I'm keeping you grounded, but I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I have my train of thought. I was going to.
No, there's something I need to talk about. What did you just say? What was it?
About taking responsibility for your life.
So what the guides are saying is, to anyone saying, why isn't this happening fast enough? Why isn't this happening fast enough?
Yeah.
What the guides literally gave me just now is that, are you progressing fast enough?
Exactly.
Are you progressing fast enough? Are you progressing with life fast enough? Or are you stagnating? So your reality around you is going to mirror to you what you are doing. So if you have any areas of your life for the past 10 years or 5 years that you know need attention, you know, oh my God, my mind is going crazy, this monkey mind, I need to learn how to quieten it, I need to go to the forest, I need to meditate, I need to stay off my cell phones after 8 p.m., whatever those rules are. That means you're evolving. So then your reality will evolve with you. But if you say, when the hell is this damn earth going to evolve or ascend or get better or whatever, if you start saying it that way, the mirror is on you. In our world, earth is ascending very fast. We're accessing 5D consciousness, and we're amongst the first humans to access it. That just means that we are ahead of the curve than most people. It doesn't mean it's not possible for everyone else. It just means that we're getting kind of lonely because there's not many people in this realm. So it's always about mirroring back What are you doing? Why are you not getting off your ass and losing those 10 last or 20 pounds because you're not feeling good about yourself? Why are you still in that relationship that you can't stand? Why are you having sex with someone repeatedly when you're not even attracted to the person? Why? Because he pays your bills? Because she has because she has a nice body and you don't really love her? Like, what is causing you to not step into your power? What is causing you to go back to your sugar daddy or your sugar mommy just because you don't have the balls to get your own job, or you don't have the courage
to dive into the unknown?
That's
what Ascension is all about.
So how fast are you going?
Yeah.
Many of you say, Siman and EldoRa, you guys are ascending so fast. You guys are ascending. We are. But you know how many changes we've made, you guys? There are many of you that are new to our channel. And I can tell you, I'll make another video about it sometime. We have gone through the craziest life stories. I ran away from home at 18. A month after running away from home, I realized I was pregnant. I had an abortion with no anesthesia. I fended for myself because my mom kicked me out of the house.
Let alone your childhood abuse.
I had childhood abuse, emotional abuse. My father burnt me with a cigarette stub. Like, I was the most damaged. Like, I was so wounded. I was so, like, my father's damage, till now I'm healing from it. And then I got into a 20-year-old relationship, a 3D relationship that didn't serve me. But because I had no concept of self-worth, I had no concept of self-confidence, I had no concept of self-love. No one had ever taught me these concepts. So what did I do in my 20-year-old marriage? I got married at 18. I basically did whatever I was asked. They said, you need to pray. I prayed. They said, you need to be slim, so we love you. I tried my best to lose weight, but you know what happened? I started gaining weight because I was under so much stress. I was mocked I dumbed my light completely. I dimmed my light to basically no light so that I could fit in that little box that my 3D marriage could fit me in. If I expanded any bit more if I expanded my light out of that little box, I would not fit into my 3D family. So I shrunk my light.
Yeah.
So since 2013, when I had my very early stages of my awakening, really my awakening happened in more like 2015, I would say, my real awakening.
But the cycle started in 2012.
Cycle started in 2012. That's when we met. That's when we left our 3D marriages and everything. But
literally first time I saw you was 2012, I think.
2012 or 13, yes.
Yeah.
And he was DJing at a party. That's actually when I saw him. I was dancing and I'm looking at this guy. He was the DJ. And he like has this real masculine look and looking down. Most DJs, you know, they're jumping around like baboons. And I don't like that. And like they're just like jumping around in a weird way, trying to show that, we're the shit. I might DJ like that.
Yeah, you never know.
He's going to teach me DJing. Anyway, we're digressing a lot. But anyway, the thing is that I looked at him and he was so masculine and he wasn't checking out girls. And I'm like, who's that guy? And I was married at the time. But it was like a full body reaction. And then finally, 3 months later, we met up and the rest is history. But the point is that our souls started guiding us from 2012, 2013. And then when we met, it caused our awakening.
Yeah.
So it's all of this is happening in such a mega way, you guys. The first waivers are now preparing the second waivers. And back to Siman's point of the Christ consciousness grid, this is actually very good news. All the work that we have done and many others have done who have accessed the higher 4D timelines are actually going to make it so much easier for the rest of you as well as the rest of the awakening population to catch up very fast. It's not going to be as hard for you guys because we've done the work.
Yeah, and the ascension is going to it's going to unfold right now in the next 2 months in a very rapid manner, and that's what we want to come down to. So we discussed the first waivers in 2012, but one thing before we close the 2012 to 19 chapter is some people are recycling their lessons from the last 7 years. They haven't really progressed into mastery lessons in 2020. So just because the calendar is rolling doesn't mean everyone's moving forward. Some people are rolling their wheels. And what the guides are telling me is that where a lot of light workers are stuck is that once they activate their third eye, their spiritual ego activates. They think now we're superior than others. Now 3D is less than us. So you're still playing in the 4D realm of duality, but you're camouflaging it as spirituality. So you've basically created a new religion, and the religion is worship me. But so this is very blatant. You will see, oh my, me, no way. But the thing is, when we take a look at our own consciousness with a microscopic lens, when we clear our minds and start to really make space to observe our own behaviors, when we realize where are we mistreating people, where are we projecting our stories on others, where are we trying to control the narrative, where
This
are
is
we
a big one.
where are we trying to
control?
Control
is a huge one.
Self-worth, self-doubt, shame, like all of these things are looked down upon.
And guys, what the guides are saying right now is remind them. They're literally saying, remind them to look at their control patterns in your own relationships. So every single one of you in the next month, start observing, where am I trying to control my spouse? Where am I trying to get him or her to speak the way I want him or her to speak? Where am I trying to make them dress like I want them to dress? Where am I controlling another human being to not be the sovereign beings that they are?
Yeah. And sometimes
That's
we throw
huge.
around our spiritual muscles saying, oh, no, shut up. I know better because I'm guided, like you have to listen to me. So this is keeping people cycling their old 7-year cycle because they haven't mastered their ego yet. But what guides are saying, we are saying, we are the guides. So what we are saying, because we feel like we're merging with our guides, so it seems like we're speaking as one now.
Yes.
So that's one
Very
message
tangibly.
we were getting, that it's not guides are saying you are the guides. We're earth guides. We're all guides for humanity, all of us. So that's a new terminology we want to bring in. So what we're seeing now is that humanity needs to not only just activate their psychic powers, but they need to connect with their heart. Unless your heart is based on love and compassion and acceptance, and realize that everyone that you encounter in your life, you've been there. So how can you judge someone if you have been there? Like literally, unity consciousness is that you are one. What does it mean that you are one? It means that you've been through all the stages that all of humanity's been through. So you're not different from anyone you encounter. So how can you judge them?
We have all raped, we've all murdered, we've all stolen, we've all lied, we've all cheated, we've all done all of that.
That's the aha moment. That's when your third eye connects with your heart and you realize it's not about my psychic power or my spiritual ego or that I'm better than. I'm one and the same, and I'm here to serve everyone. Even though they may be projecting their lack, their negativity, their judgments upon me, I'm here to break the cycles that have been propagating negativity for generations and generations. So now we're activating our 5D brain. Once we activate our heart, once we start seeing with love and compassion connected with our third eye, and now we're going back to Atlantis, we're connecting our entire prana tube. So the prana tube is like a tube of white light that goes from your crown. It's about yay thick, and it goes through all your chakras, through the central column of your spine and down your root chakra, and then down and grounds to the center of the earth. So this is the physical manifestation of the pillar of light within you. And every one of us has this pillar of light. But how do we use it? How do we utilize it? When we start breathing down our crown, activating our third eye, and then connecting with our heart, and then sending it down to our solar plexus root chakra, then we're getting guidance from source, and we're also making sure it's rooted in love, in harmony, not to take from others, but to create peace, harmony, and create more value for the collective. And then we send that out to our root chakra, that information. And in the root chakra, if you have done most of your healings, then you'll channel this creativity into creative projects. Like you'll be following your passions, dreams, and desires. That's what it's really meant by your soul's plan is encoded within you. So do you want to discuss the second wave from 2020 onwards?
Yes, but I also want to talk about the extreme, the main part. Like there's so many important parts of this video, you guys. So if you have to rewatch it again, do so, maybe in a few days. But we're also getting told that we can talk about the second wave soon, but let's finish this real quick. So you know how we've always been talking about the 2022 to 2022. So February 2nd to February 22nd is a massive portal, and we got recent guidance as to what's actually happening. So if you recall, as crazy as this sounds, many of you are watching if you're our first time, go back and watch some of our last few videos, because ever since solstice, any video after solstice has been extremely explosive in its content, because these new guides are working with us. These new beings are the way we're being shown is that our higher aspect versions, now that our frequency has walked through the solstice portal, higher dimensional beings are of higher aspects of us are giving us new downloads. So what we've been shown is that until now we've been getting the energy of our sun soul. So our sun
That's
gives
very
us these
important.
galactic energies, right? So you see how we've been going through massive transformation, massive, especially in January. Many of you, I know, like my assistant, our Instagram person, a lot of people in our immediate circle went through an absolute, like they thought they were dying. It was that severe, and many others too. What has happened is these coronal mass ejections, CMEs from the sun, are corresponding to the corona symptoms. So what they've done is that what has happened is that all that's happening as ascension symptoms that is meant for our evolution from carbon to crystalline is being rebranded as, hey, no, 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 there's a flu right now and the flu is causing all of this. Go get a flu shot, go get a jab. And that's what it's all about. So the narrative is being spun. So if any of you went through those crazy, crazy, crazy sicknesses, fatigues, extreme, like when you thought you were dying,
Also, a lot of pain,
pain and
depression.
yes, depression, that was the dark night of the soul, and that was almost like a reset, that your system, it's like a boot, it's like a reboot where you're turned off and then you're turned off again, and then the cobwebs are being removed literally. So this 222 portal, what we're being shown, and we were given this morning actually, when we said we're making a live, this was what caused our intention to even make this live, is we were shown that on 222, on February 22nd, the sun of Sirius B also starts sending energy to Earth. And that is why the Sirius lions were connecting with us, who are six-dimensional Christ consciousness beings. And that is why the Syrian lions and Jesus Christ, as Lord Sananda, are bringing in all of this information to the 222 conference that we're hosting. If any of you guys don't know what this is about, definitely check it out at EldoRaandSiman.love. So you just go to www.EldoRaandSiman.love. This, we get bits and pieces as to why we're doing this as we go along. And what we're getting is that this whole conference, these 2 days, this 21st of February and 22nd, Sirius B is going to be blasting us with event-like energies. You know, event like the solar flare. And these energies are going to be so powerful that if you don't get into a sacred container where these energies are harmonized within you, it might be too intense to step into such a portal. And this is just one aspect of it. So you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. So basically, in other words, what's happening is because of the direct link up between Sirius and our sun, where the Syrian lions are telling us, and lions are just one of the Syrian beings. There's many different species in Sirius, but the lions are telling us, and these are like the evolved high priests of Sirius. So they're very revered and well respected and wise. They're the guardians of this universe. So they're sharing their wisdom with us and telling us that they're creating a direct and permanent telepathic link up between their sun in the Sirius star system and our sun's soul. So we're going to become first the binary star system, and then.
And what does a binary star system means? It means we're going from one sun to two suns.
Yeah.
Binary.
But not in the physical way, not like our planet will suddenly revolve around Sirius. That's not what I mean. I mean, in the 5D etheric realm, a telepathic connection is being created between the two suns to accelerate our evolution. So it basically means we're not only learning from our sun, but also learning from the wisdom of the entire galaxy, because part of the Akashic records is also held in Sirius. So we're going to see the physical result of that and that's what we're bringing into our conference, is that we're going to see our Atlantean-like abilities coming online very quickly. And the lions are the ones who designed this technology. They're six-dimensional light technicians from the Metatronic realm. So they know the Merkaba, they know the light body inside out because they created it. So now they're saying that our Earth has reached a point where we no longer need to go through complex steps to activate our Merkaba, but we can do it very directly through higher technologies and activations that they're going to be sending us.
And they're also going to be, this is new information we also got, that in the 222 conference, the first day will be all Markaba Yang stuff, Markaba repair, Markaba activations, all the Markaba work. And this work will be done for us.
Yeah.
We don't have to like do any breathing or anything to do it. These higher dimensional beings will be part of the portal.
There will be like things you have to imagine in astral travel. It won't be like you're sleeping.
We'll be taking you on
you'll
a
be
journey.
Receiving.
You'll be receiving a lot. On day 2, we're doing a lot of higher self work, higher self activations, higher self mergers. And this is the second piece that we just got yesterday. So we're still building the curriculum, but all of a sudden the curriculum looks fucking amazing. Like we're blown at how simplistic it is and how powerful it is. So any of you guys who are still on the fence, I highly, from my heart to yours, urge you to step into the power of saying yes to yourself. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. And honestly, that is something that you can even write down on your mirror. I am worth it. I am my top priority. I am worth it. I am my top priority. Say it out to yourself as long as you need. I love myself. I will show up for myself. And so it is.
And so it is.
You see how that changes the whole frequency of your molecular structure? Instantly, you start vibrating higher. When you just start affirming this, you start going in like this, and then you go back to the center.
Right. So we're smack in the middle of this powerful 222 portal. We're experiencing it right now. And everyone's going to experience it at their own pace as they go. And you are going to receive the instructions and the guidance when you're ready. So go at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to others either. And what's going to happen next is that all the information that has been collected about the ascension in the first wave since 2012 to 2019 has been uploaded into the Christ consciousness grid. And because of that, the next waves that are starting in 2020, 21, 22, these are going to rapidly accelerate forward. And this is already happening before our eyes, like how we see the truckers converge and how we're seeing like many people are beginning to gain their spirit and see that this is a physical manifestation of everything that we've been told. So this is no longer an illusion. So people are gaining, humanity likes to catch up slow. They like to see with their physical eyes the proof of what's being said first, but in consciousness, it's already happened. So now the rest of humanity is waking up at a very rapid pace. It's not discussed in the news, but right now we are in the middle of a mass awakening that's going to unfold most of this year, most of next year, and go into 2024. So we see the next 2 months as extremely critical to the consciousness of humanity, because in March and April is when we're being zero pointed. And
this year,
March and April, next 2 months, this is
huge,
when we're being
you guys.
Zero pointed. That means you're going to be on an accelerated timeline to not get rid of, to master your ego lessons.
Yes.
If you become a diligent student of life, like literally I'm talking about every time you have a fit, every time you have a negative reaction, anytime you're shaken off your balance, you literally take a notepad and you jot down what happened, jot down your feelings, and then from a neutral observer standpoint, analyze yourself and see what you need to correct so you stay more in balance next time.
And that's what we do. The last 7 years, that's how I grew so fast. Anytime I would not present myself in the divine being that I am, which is human. We've all got the reptilian brain so embedded into our consciousness that it's only now that we're reaching a vibration where we can train ourselves to behave otherwise. So what I did in my awakening is I literally coached myself, because I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a spiritual guide. I only had Archangel Metatron, who was our father figure, spiritual guide. We only worked with him. Like Isis only started mentoring me last February. Before that, it was mainly Melchizedek and Metatron. And so we really got all these concepts more from our own channeling and learned all this. But anytime I would do something, let's say we both had a fight, I would literally, let's say we had a fight, instantly he would leave the house. Because when we fight, we instantly leave.
Disconnect to diffuse.
We don't enhance that negativity. So initially, all my shit would come up saying, what the hell? I want to sit and talk to you. I want to fight with you. I want to get everything off my chest. And he would say, nope, I'm not doing that, because he's already been in a narcissistic relationship where he's like, I have no energy in me left to fight. So I'd be like, oh, damn, now he's left. I'm sitting with my own thoughts. So what do? I take out a book.
That's what we dread, but that's what we need
And I
to do
start
the
writing,
most.
okay, this is how I behaved. Why am I behaving this way? Why am I expecting that out of him? Oh shit, this was all 7 years ago or 8 years ago. Oh shit, that's because I'm still trying to control him at some level. I'm still trying to control how he behaves or what he wears, or I'm getting irritated that he's not doing enough of this. Oh shit, we're sovereign beings. Who am I to control the free will of another? And if I do that, what is different between me and the cabal? So I literally coached myself to this. Or let's say you feel I don't have envy in me, but let's say you feel envy. Luckily, it's not something I've ever had. But let's in this lifetime, I'm sure I mastered it in the last lifetimes. So let's say you feel jealousy or envy. What do? Instead of projecting it, saying, oh, how dare she lives in luxury and how dare she goes to expensive hotels, instead of having that stupid narrative as if you're a victim, bring out your book and write down saying, I'm feeling envy, which is a low vibration. What is the root cause of that? Oh shit, it's my own self-worth. I'm feeling envy and projecting it on her because I feel I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy. Oh damn, now I have work to do on that. If you're feeling disgusted having sex with your partner and you feel, don't beat yourself up saying, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? For some reason, this is coming in strong. This is channel, this sex part. This is the third time I'm talking about it. So many of you need to hear this. It's coming very strong, you guys. So if many times you'll say, like, I hated being intimate with my ex-husband of 20 years, but I didn't ever complain because I'm thinking something's wrong with me. I always thought something's wrong with me. I don't have that sex drive. I'm not attracted to him. No, I never thought I'm not attracted to him. I thought, shit, I'm not as healthy or whatever.
Bad for not being
I felt bad for not being attracted. But now that I have an opposite relationship where I'm extremely attracted to Siman, we're always in a state of intimacy. Literally every single day, we're always in a state of intimacy. And that's how we're climbing the ascension ladder so fast. But none of this would have been possible if I hadn't come to terms with the fact that, shit, my 3D marriage looks amazing on paper, but I'm not fucking happy. And that's the end of the story. So when you start really looking at so this next 2 years, you guys, the next 2 months, we are being 0 pointed. So what does that mean? It means that any lessons that are still left in your vortex will come up very strong in your field. And if you resist, right now, time is speeding up. So if you resist, what's going to happen? It's going to come back faster, stronger to grasp your attention, because there's no more time to lose. We are being accelerated. And one more thing, what happens on Earth? Earth's not the only planet that's ascending.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So basically, as we said, Earth is connected to the entire omniverse. Earth is connected to all the dimensions. What happens here reverberates into the entire cosmos. So when the decision was made to upgrade Earth from 3D to 5D, it was not just limited to this planet. It also means that all the planets in our solar system are ascending to a higher octave. It also means that all the higher dimensional planets like Pleiades, Sirius, all beings in this universe and all dimension are going to go up 1 octave. So as humanity progresses up 1 octave, all the dimensions, you can say, so to speak, everyone's getting a promotion in the cosmic realms. And what that promotion does is, because Earth is going to be vibrating higher than duality and negativity, all the beings that had flooded from lower dimensions are going to be sorted out and placed back into their respective realms, or if they choose, they can come into the light. So this is a great opportunity for beings. Even if you have done something in your life that you cannot forgive yourself for, think of this as a golden moment from the cosmos, because God is forgiving. God is not here to punish you. The next 2 months are like the cosmos opening up a portal and God offering his hand, which is a higher version of you, and saying, come into the light. And this is happening at a soul level. Everyone has to walk this individually. You cannot do the work for your children or your spouse. You have to realize that first I have to forgive myself for everything that I hold myself in judgment for, and then realize that this is your golden key where your soul is literally being scrubbed with a sponge of Christ consciousness, and you're going to be coming out of this end of this portal that ends in April, shortly after solstice, but it continues into April.
You mean equinox?
Yeah, so, shortly after March 21st equinox.
March is going to be
that's going to be the peak point.
Extremely powerful.
Yeah, that's going to be the peak point. And then it takes us, this energy of what we're talking about the next 2 months takes us into the end of April. And after that, if you apply the work, if you forgive yourself, if you don't hold any judgment to yourself, you're going to come out squeaky clean. It's like you're being given a new card, and you are going to realize that the only person that had to forgive yourself was you. You're the only one holding yourself back. You know how ridiculous things light workers hold themselves guilty for? I once met a light worker in Bali, and she said, I hold a lot of resentment against myself because I remember a past life as Atlantis. And in that life, I had failed one of my students and I had turned dark. And I feel so much guilt because I was shown that lifetime. And I paused for a second and I said, before me, I literally saw her as a beautiful being of light. She was emanating a golden aura. And I said, do you realize that humanity needs you right now? So do you also realize that if humanity needs every single light worker on the ground, that you're doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to all of planet Earth by holding guilt against yourself for something so ridiculous that happened in some past epoch of time that has nothing to do with you right now?
Or even right now in this incarnation, let's say you're smoking. One of my friends in Toronto once said, after like knowing her for a year, she's like, we were having a girls' night where we were all having wine and having fun. And she's like, I have to get something off my chest. And we we're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, are you like, our imagination was running wild. Like she's having, an affair, or she's like a lesbian and she's not told us until now, like all kinds of crazy things. And then she gets something off her chest and she's like, I feel, and this was like when we were already awake. So we were already hosting events in Toronto and stuff. So we were all like the spiritual, like the 4D spiritual group. And she's like, I feel so embarrassed. I still smoke cigarettes. I'm like, that's it? Okay, what are you guilty about? I'm like, did you change your story? She's like, no, I smoke. I'm like, how many do you smoke? 4. I'm like, why are you holding guilt? That's actually doing more
it's
harm.
Like deciding to walk with a bag of bricks on your back. You can just simply decide to let it go today.
Or say, I'll smoke one less cigarette. Yeah.
It doesn't take, it's just a constant choice, guys. It doesn't matter what you hold yourself accountable for or why you're holding yourself back. The point is you can let it go today with your decision that I'm going to take this golden opportunity and God's not judging me. Why should I judge myself?
Yes.
And move forward with your life as if you're squeaky clean. This is what Christening is about. Being Christed does not mean that some holy father comes and like places their hand on your head. And until that happens, I cannot ascend. That's also giving your power away. You can go into Christ consciousness today, right now, this moment, by simply deciding to let go of all your stories. And that's when you have this aha moment, you have this cosmic laughter because you realize you've been playing the fool all these lifetimes. And you realize that the only person who had to let go of all of my baggage was me. And I can be a different person. I can embody my higher self starting now, today.
And tell them real quick about the other fool template that our guides told us a few months ago. Remember? They said once you have done all your work, your trauma healing, your healing, you've done all of that, you just, is it actually FOOL?
Fool.
They're like, you just become the highest version for humanity is the innocence template. Okay, so the highest vibration template of ascended masters is the innocent template where you have power and you also have the innocence of a child at the same time. And the guide said that when you reach your fool template, they call it the fool template for some reason. It's like everything's just easy.
You know why they call it the fool template? Because we embody that. We're just playing the fool with each other all damn day. We're just joking. We're making jabs at each other. We're realizing that at the end of the day, nothing else matters but each other. And what else is there to share between humans other than love and laughter? That's the fool template. So you realize ascended masters are actually fools. So when you become a fool, you know you've made it. You have to bring out the inner child. That's why we're
Yes.
also always playful. It's not because, hey, we have to entertain everyone. This is how we are in our
This
daily.
is actually us
We're
being
actually
sober.
100th of what we are in our real life.
Exactly.
You should follow us with a camera and see how silly and stupid we are. Like, I'm not even going to.
He literally calls me nut job.
Yeah, there's a sub personality that she brings out that I've termed nut job,
He's like, oh
and it comes out
Lord.
at the most awkward. I'm like, oh, hello, nut job.
Like it'll
Welcome
come
over.
out just before we're about to be intimate. Suddenly I'll be like, all right then.
Oh my god. So
And he's
yeah.
like, oh my God, the nut job is here. And I'm like, why? You don't like the nut job? So we're always like that. And that's what life is all about,
so
you guys.
it's not serious work. Like, you don't have to take your notebooks and like do anything. You just have to be playful and forgive yourself. It's as simple as that. But some people make it so like a mountain, right? So now we're getting into an accelerated period of time. And don't worry, there's no train that anyone's going to miss. There's going to be cycles and cycles of ascension.
And there's going to be many trains.
The only purpose we're saying this is not to put pressure on you that you have to do all your homework within the next 2 months. All we're saying is that this is an accelerated period, so pay due diligence to your homework. But there's many cycles. 2022 is full of portals. We're going to be full of like galactic alignments that are going to open up our consciousness to keep fast forwarding through our ascension. So all of these energies are there to help us. They're not there to like push us out of our comfort zone if we're not ready. You have to go at a slow pace, go with your comfort zone and do it one at a time. You don't have to do everything at the same time. You can only do what's humanly possible. And 5D is all about being human, being in your heart.
So did we give them enough about the next 2 months and what?
No,
to
now I want to
expect?
give 2
Perfect.
months is good.
Go
Like
for
we
it.
went into 0 point, so
Go
we're all
for
being
it.
0 point in the next 2 months, but there'll be many new cycles coming.
Yeah.
But now we want to discuss what's the bigger picture for, and it's 10144 as I said that. So the guides are us, our higher versions are aligned to go forward with this.
The guides are saying, don't say guides, guides,
Yeah,
guides.
exactly.
Don't give away
We're
your
getting
power.
used to this new lingo.
Because what they're saying is EldoRa and Siman, you guys, and I'm telling all of you guys, we're the light workers. They're saying you guys are on planet Earth doing such hard work, living in duality, living in density. You've incarnated millions and millions of times on this planet to go from the caveman, to go from, extreme rape, extreme torture, extreme hunger, extreme everything, abuse, manipulation, everything, to come to this point, mind control, everything, to come to this point. You guys are the superstars. Don't give away your power.
Exactly. And you have no idea how much respect the galactics hold for humanity. They don't look down on us like clunky human beings. They see all of the mastery that we've achieved. They see all of the light that we've anchored despite all our hardships. So they see us as true heroes. We're the only ones who see us as small, insignificant beings.
Not just heroes, but they literally see us, especially those of you who are like those of us who are vibrating 4D and higher, especially like the ones who have done the work and who are now shining 4D and early 5D frequencies. They look at us as the most precious commodities.
The jewel of this universe.
And they reward you with gifts. They are like, how can we make your life more comfortable for the job you're doing? That's how our life is. Our guides are constantly saying to us, what can we do for you to get your life better? And before coming to Mexico, when my guides asked me that when I was in Florida, I said, you know what I would love? I don't like going grocery shopping because I hate wearing a mask. And in Tulum, at least in the grocery store, you still have to make. So I would say, I just want a timeline, wherever that is, because we didn't know we're going to Tulum till the last minute. We were like, wherever we go next, I just want my groceries done for me. Remember we made all that?
Yeah.
And when we booked this house, I had no idea why this house was being highlighted to me. And I'm an expert at just looking at frequency and saying, that's the one. I just have this flair. I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
This house was like, out of all the Airbnbs, was jumping at me. So I said, all right, we're going to book it for 3 months. And when we arrived here, guess what the lady concierge says to me? She's like, anything you need. And I mean anything. You need fruits, you need fish, you need vegetables, you need coconut water, you need mango, whatever. I will go shop and drop it off. I'll even arrange it in your fridge. My God, with so much love. And I'll just take 20% off the tab. So what am I doing? I am now, okay, now this is very important, you guys. This is actually being channeled again. Instead of saying, oh my God, that is kind of like very evil to have someone work for you and do all of this or whatever, like any blocks that come up, you know what I'm actually doing? I'm empowering the 5D grid by saying my abundance is now going to spread to the land I'm living in. I'm not just going to hoard and say, I'm going to go do everything myself. I'm now saying I'm going to empower a maid by paying her $10 an hour and having her come in twice a week.
Not only that, instead of living in lack, what you're doing is I'm freeing up my time so I can be of service more, so I can be more aligned with my higher self, so I can go to the gym, so I can live my highest timeline. So that's what we mean. Light workers have so many self-created belief systems that we right now are being asked to let go of.
And I'm going to gloat for a moment, okay? I'm going to gloat. So I'm actually giving you a disclaimer that I'm going to gloat right now. I will tell you this. There's not enough spiritual leaders on earth that have mastered what we are talking about. So there's a lot of YouTubers, even the spiritual leaders, and those guys don't watch us because they have way more followers than us. They don't have the codes that we are giving you. And I'm talking anybody and any, like literally I'm talking about, they don't have the codes of sacred divine union and of abundance and of mastery of the love light and fuck you too. They don't have all the codes. So many of them are still operating in 4D. So we have not, the few of you that are watching us, take this as a gift, really take this as a gift and have gratitude, because you are amongst the first front runners getting the highest source codes from two masters walking on the plane. Because right now we consider ourselves masters. We are masters. So don't take this lightly, because even like many of the other spiritual teachers you might be watching on YouTube do not have these codes, my friends. Many of them don't have the codes of physical fitness and vitality, of sex and tantra. Many of them don't even have sex. They don't have the codes of abundance. So you really, really, really need to know that you're the front runners, and you're the front runners for a reason. If you've come into our vortex, I can tell you we are explosive. We are explosive. And I'm again reminding you guys, if you have not signed up for the 222, you guys, I don't have any motive other than wanting the best for you. Sign up. It's going to be life-changing. Oh, that's another thing. It's going to be life-changing. That's another, I got this earlier today. There's going to be a life-changing momentum from that one event, that one single point event, because you're going to get so many activations that you're going to emerge. And I'm not going to put pressure on you. I'm just going to, as if, oh my God, I'm not my higher self yet. Don't put pressure on yourself. I mean, you're going to go in as your human, and you're going to come out as your higher self, and energetically. So you're going to come out. When you come out as your higher self, it may take you a year or two to catch up, because energy happens first. Reality follows next. So this is huge, you guys. Don't miss out this opportunity. And I say this to you with all my love. I'm going to be super direct about it. Okay, I'm done gloating.
Yes, there's lots of work to be done. And so coming back to our...
Yeah, you keep going.
Fine. So coming back to our timelines, 2022, we've covered more or less. It's going to be a time of acceleration. It's going to be a time of mass awakening. 2023, 24, we are seeing... Tell us about the second wave. Yeah, so we are in the second wave. So basically what we deem as the second wave, this is just our terminology. It's not a universal terminology. What we deem as the second wave is 2020 to 27. So we're in the second wave. People who woke up because of this scam-demic are the second wave. So these people are coming online as like you guys, a lot of you guys who are joining our channel and joining other channels, like everyone's coming online. Everyone's interested in spirituality suddenly, and their lives are shifting. And they're picking up from the Christ consciousness grid all the breadcrumbs that the first waivers of 2012 to 2019 have already uploaded. So they're going to come online very quickly. Because as you notice, like for an example, in our channel, we don't water it down and say, this is a chakra. This is how you activate it. We say, boom, the fucking lions are coming.
Yeah.
So
I even asked my guides recently, I said, should we start watering down our messages? Because there's a lot of new people awakening and coming to our channel. Because a lot of people say, let's get more people in. And we're the opposite. Our guides are like,
our guides are like, be the leading edge because everybody will catch up.
They're saying you'll activate people much faster, and you don't have to like start from the basics.
And because we're ready now. We have the neural circuitry in the second wave already. yeah, already we have that neural pathways downloaded into our system very rapidly. So we're able to assimilate this information and it resonates as truth, and we just like embed this in our light circuitry. So now what we're seeing is the most interesting part is well, let me slow down a bit. So 23,
Take your time.
24,
Finish
we're
yeah.
seeing that this continuation of the dismantling of the matrix continues. But then we suddenly see that the mass population suddenly switches from anger and protest. And instead of trying to create a revolution of change, they create an evolution of change. Okay? So this is deep. Instead of creating a revolution of change by going against something, we suddenly realize all we have to do is evolve and change our way of thinking. We don't have to go and take down the government. We just need to go and buy a piece of land and run our own government. It's simple as that. We just need to grow our own food and love each other. It's simple as that. We just need to not buy McDonald's and these crazy pharmaceuticals. We need to bring back our organic vegetables and grow them and access our pure supplies of water. The government literally will, they have no power.
They'll be left out.
They'll be like the bullies who are left in the sandbox to play with themselves. And they'll all be cornered. So we simply like let them be handled by the karmic laws.
And also remember, they are only here because there's no they and we. This is also so important. There's no they and we. We say they and we because we want to make our teachings very understandable.
Yeah.
But if you really go deep into the situation, remember what I said about Atlantis. We are the ones who misused power. We, as in all of us, not we, but all of us. We did all of that.
Yeah.
So now that power misuse has led us to where we are today with the cabal or whoever, whatever we want to call it, negative ETs.
Yeah, but to be very blunt, there are certain souls that are not going to be continuing into the next ascension. But we see that as a very minority, like 20%, 30% at the most. But most of humanity is going to ascend because the galactics are taking their time. They're allowing humanity to catch up. They're not going to shock us. So we see 23, 24, more dismantling of the matrix, more awakening, more waves. Until 2024 is very significant because it numerically adds up to the number 8. So 2024 will be the 888 portal. And that is the second coming of Christ. It's the second coming of the galactic consciousness.
How is it 888?
2 plus 2
plus
4 is 8. So August 8, 2024 is the 888
Just
portal.
like Lionsgate portal. Holy shit.
It's going to be the second part of the 222 portal. It's going to be the 888 portal, but because it's on Lionsgate, it's already a direct link up with Sirius because of that alignment. So that is where we suddenly get a massive shift in our consciousness, and the ascension has matured to a point where we just begin to reflect on our choices and say, okay, guys, we're figuring this out. I'm talking as a mass consciousness. We're saying to ourselves, we figured out what we've done wrong. Now, what do we want to create right for the future? So we start, that's the 25, 26 are the kind of years where we're spinning all our cycles and getting our act together. This is where we've trained enough. This is where we've harmonized our egos. That's why we're saying, guys, keep up. You can't take your egos into ascended earth. You're going to be literally in a waiting room.
The ego is not allowed to.
You're literally going to be in your own mini reality, trying to play out your dramas until you're allowed to join. Because vibrationally, you cannot have ego and duality in 5D consciousness. So if people are going to be moving out of cities and avoiding all this radiation and avoiding all this crazy technologies that have taken over our life, we're going to be migrating into organic communities. And this is going to happen very organically over the next decade, pretty much. There's a huge restructuring of society. So the point was that if you're not doing your homework, don't assume you're just going to be allowed into a 5D society. Okay? So don't think you get a free ticket. You can't come into a 5D community and suddenly say, hey, everybody's here to serve me and here, polish my shoes and prepare my meal.
I'll make it even more simple. You cannot enter a 5D community if you're not in gratitude.
Yeah.
You cannot enter a 5D community if you think you're in gratitude. You're in your head. People in the head think, oh my God, we're going to buy someone a gift and give this gift to them and show them how much we love them. But we can see that this gift is bought from the head, not from the heart.
Yeah.
So this is very deep, you guys. This, what I just said, is extremely deep. So yesterday I was talking to Merlin, our Instagram guy, and he's a 22-year-old, and I like developing our staff. Like, we develop our staff, we develop our team.
We invest in
We
them.
invest in our team because we're also leaving behind the blueprints of how to run a 5D company. And so we're anchoring the 5D business templates into the grid.
That might be another course we do in the future.
Correct.
5D business
Like,
templates.
we hold our staff accountable, but we also go all out to bat for them. And so I was talking to Merlin yesterday, and he's a very pure starseed, but at some time, I realized a few weeks ago that he didn't really know the concept of gratitude. So when I subtly said to him, I said, check your gratitude. And he's like, EldoRa, your email shocked the living daylights out of me. And I was like that. I was exactly like Merlin. I would think, oh, I live and breathe gratitude. And you know what my guide said? This was like a few years ago. They said, EldoRa, the amount of gratitude you live and breathe is not even enough for your Christ consciousness avatar mode, because then you're just embodied in gratitude. Yeah. And this was life-changing for Merlin. His entire being lit up, and he's like, no one has ever taught me these things, EldoRa. In 3D, everyone said, no one's taught us gratitude, which is why we're embodying. We don't care how many people follow us. We'll be the first ones to say, hey, if you're not in gratitude, if you're rude, if you're obnoxious, you're out, because we create a safe space for our audience. We create a safe space.
And for ourselves, we don't allow negativity.
And that's how, imagine if you have a 5D community, let's say we build a 5D community and then obnoxious people come in, rude people come in.
It's just not physically possible.
It's vibrational. So that's why we're saying vibration is your highest currency.
Yeah, it's not about how much money you can throw around. There won't be any currency.
Frequency is the
harmonized,
currency.
That's your entry ticket into these communities.
And just because you're a good person, okay, this is again important. Just because you're a good person, it doesn't mean you will make it into these 5D communities, because there's also going to be 4D communities with good people. 5D expects a level of mastery, and that's why all our curriculum, follow us on Instagram. We're sharing a lot there. Tons of gold on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is EldoRa Siman, one word, EldoRa Siman. And we also have a Telegram channel. We'll put it down in the link.
All the links are in the details.
We give you all the codes for what's important for your curriculum. We don't talk about what Tesla did and what someone else did, because that's not important for the curriculum. It may be important, but
we're focused on the ascension.
We are crystal focused on the ascension. And this is our mission. We need everybody. We're training the ascended masters of tomorrow. Literally, that's what we're doing. So take our curriculum very seriously.
Yeah. So this is where society is now. In our story, in our narrative, where it's 2026 and 2020 to 26 is a 7-year cycle. Now is the most interesting cycle, where 2027 begins. And think of all the children who were born in 2012. Let's say 2010 to 2012 onwards. Think of all the children. How old are they going to be? So 12 minus 27, about 15, right? So these are crystal children. Mm-hmm. These are children with new crystal technologies embedded within their consciousness and their DNA when they came in.
Luna, I love you.
All of these children are going to be activating like crazy, and they're going to be leading the next wave of the ascension for humanity. So you know how first wavers and second wavers are like way showers because we came here to clear the junk? The third wavers are the most interesting. They're like these digital light soldiers, not digital, they're quantum light soldiers that just they come running with boots on the ground, and they start rapidly creating new earth. They come with all their memories intact. They come with all of their Akashic records from the higher realms intact. So by then we see a solid and tangible rainbow bridge between heaven and earth, because these children are the visionaries of tomorrow, and they start to inspire the rest of humanity to create imbalance. And there we start in this phase from 2027 to 34 is where we start envisioning and starting to see the first glimpses of the crystal cities. This is why we say Atlantis is rising again. And we see this, everything being concentrated. The main activity of the ascension is going to be concentrated in the continent of the United States, give or take a few states, because there's going to be a massive restructuring of the land.
In the Florida area,
there's going to be a massive restructuring of the land with some movements of water, movements of earthquakes, tectonic plates. But because of galactic support and assistance, we won't be here to like experience that. We'll be safe in that phase. But there are going to be land shifts. There are going to be in the next decade massive like pole shifts. We're going to be, why is the pole shift so important? So think of the pole shift as like the calibration of Earth. It's like right now, because the pole is tilted at 22.5 degrees, that's why Earth is not receiving harmonic energies from the sun. We're receiving distorted energies. And also, Earth is completely recalibrating its electromagnetic frequencies to match the 5D harmonics of the sun. So the pole shift is like the radio dial of our planet is being tuned to pick up the 5D version of our sun. The sun is emitting many holograms towards Earth. So far, it was creating the 3D illusion separation hologram. And now we're going to be, with the pole shift and all these tectonic shifts, new ley lines, new grids are being created for the Earth. They're already powered up. So by 2027 to 2034 is the most interesting period. This is where we become fully aware of our galactic consciousness. We realize that we are not just mere humans living out this simple life. We are so much more than that, and it becomes mainstream. And society starts to move forward in a very rapid technological as well as spiritual advancement period, and it becomes very exciting. It's like we're leading up to our graduation sometime in the 2050s. 2050 is like, think of it, I'm going very far ahead in the map, but I'm going to shoot a dart and say, think of the 2050s where Earth is recognized. You know those last scenes in Star Wars where there's like all these heroes walking into the pavilion and everybody's like there's bands marching, and there's like a galactic the galactic celebration after they've won the war.
House of Ra will be playing there.
Yeah, House of Ra will be
We've
there. We've
actually been shown that. We've been shown that House of Ra will be playing at the Ascension
We're the
party.
Ascension party. That's why we were getting a head
House
start.
of
Because
Ra, you guys.
we
Ra,
came with
the
the
law of
Ascension
one.
plan encoded within us. So the reason we're DJing is because we already know how the story ends.
We're ahead of the
You're
game.
going to need a party very soon.
Yes, yes.
So we're already seeing the map. It's already happened. It's just a matter of how long it takes for humanity to catch up to this story. So it's his story, which was the fallen masculine father creating the version of reality in duality. And then it's merging with the divinity of her story, where the divine Sophia code is merging with Earth, and the heaven meets Earth. So his story is going to be merged with the divinity of her story, and we leave breadcrumbs for all of humanity to follow. So we're the forerunners in this game. We're the forerunners, and this is a very exciting job to be alive on planet Earth and to be holding these codes and leading humanity into this grand galactic ascension.
So I feel like this is very, very instantaneous. Tell me what we should do. I'm getting the message for all of us as a collective, every single one of us. Maida, tell me if you get any ideas. I'm getting that we need to beam out something to all of the world. What is it? Beam out what? Love? Prayer? Yeah, let's do.
Yeah, let's do a prayer with your singing bowls, and I'll channel something.
Yeah, this is guided, guys. So everybody watching, please participate in it because your participation is important for this. Yeah, we can maybe create it'll just be 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm being told that it's needed. So let's do it.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. So you lead it in just 2 minutes or so, okay?
So everybody just take a moment to readjust your bodies. Wriggle your shoulders, find a comfortable seating position. And take a moment to align your spine, stretch your back if you need to, release any tension. You can rotate your neck. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out from our mouth. And with each chime of this bowl, allow your energy to fall down from your crown, downwards towards your feet. and embrace your spirit in every molecule and particle of your body. Feel your spirit vibrating in every particle of your aura. And feel Christ consciousness reverberating through your beingness. Feel unity consciousness within the embers of your soul. We are one with all that is. We're sending out this magnificent light that we have created into the entire planet, into the entire solar system. Sending prayers of peace, prosperity, health, food, clothing, shelter, and water for all living beings. Emanating love to every remote corner of this universe, connecting our hearts in prayer, connecting our hearts in love, and emanating this love, this energy we have created today, to all parts that this energy is needed. You are the cosmic crystal vibrating this love through your crystalline heart chakra. So allow this energy of love to emanate out of your heart and send it to all of humanity, all civilizations, all beings, and all realms, harmonizing and stabilizing Earth's grids and timelines into the ascension, the freedom, and imagine this light enveloping every child on planet Earth, every child that has come in, every child that is facing adversity, that is facing challenges, every animal on this planet that is being abused. Just with your imagination alone, my friends, let's envelop Earth with all our love.
Imagine this beautiful ball of golden energy just being brought down by our grid, by our thoughts, by our intention. And let's bring this energy down, 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 down. And let this energy of love just penetrate the molecules, the atoms of every being on this planet so tangibly that it can be felt. Just take a moment to also send yourself all the love that we have created. Literally take this energy and infuse it into your being. Infuse it into your heart, into your sacral, into your abdomen. Your abdomen has been through so much. Our stomachs have been through so much. We keep all our emotions there, sending our bodies so much love. Your root chakra, infuse it with your love. And affirm to yourself, remind your body, I love you. I love you. I am here for you. And in your own time, maintain that sense of peace in your hearts. Maintain this beautiful energy that we just created in the last hour and a half or so. Think of it as a beautiful divine energy that just surrounds us and goes with us everywhere we go. I love you guys so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing this work with us. Without you, we would not have a soul mission. Without you, we wouldn't have this impact. Without you, it would not be as meaningful. So thank you. Have a great night, my friends.
We love you all from the bottom of our hearts.
Go easy on yourselves. Go easy on yourselves. We love you too. We love you so much. Thank you. This is what we're being called to do, to pray, to send prayers, to be happy, to activate our bliss, activate our joy, activate our abundance. Because as God beings, we are deserving. We are royalty. We are royalty. Love you guys so much. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great night.
care,
And for those
everyone.
of you watching from Australia, good morning. Good morning, Australia.
That's to become our new slogan.
Good morning,
start the show.
Australia.
We'll go viral in Australia. That's the good strategy.
And please share these videos. Please share about the 222 conference. Share as wide as you can, because the more we share, the more people we bring into this vortex that we're all creating, the more impact we're going to have for Earth and her ascension, and reverberating through the entire omniverse.
Happy Valentine's Day, somebody said. Tomorrow's Love Day. So happy
we don't
Valentine's
celebrate
Day.
Valentine's Day, but we'll
celebrate love.
Yes, let's go out for dinner right now, actually.
Anytime's a good day to celebrate love.
Yes,
For us,
celebrate
it's
love.
every day is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
It's your choice.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.